Now, I'm sure there are many of you who, like me, walk around with a rain cloud above your head when it comes to luck in Fortnite. I mean, sometimes it's just, you loot that first house and no shotgun whatsoever. You kill 2 people, they don't have a shotgun. What's going on? There's no shotgun anywhere. And as far as you're concerned, there may just not be shotguns left in Fortnite, especially in tournament mode. Ahem, epic. The spawn rate. Okay, so jokes aside, despite how unlucky we might be in games, sometimes it's important to recognize that the people in these clips are unluckier than you. Probably. Welcome back to Top 5 Gaming, ladies and gentlemen, where today and today only you can subscribe to help us reach 2.5 million subscribers and send us a screenshot proving you're Mr. 2.5. Like Mr. Worldwide, except Mr. 2.5. I digress. It's time to get into this. Number 10. Now, we pretty much all remember just how overpowered the planes could be. The ability to fly safely around the skies while third-partying every gunshot sound you'd hear with a high rate of success. Fortunately, that's not an issue today, but this was a highly popular tactic at the time. When you've got the low ground on a mountain, building up can be a waste of material and risk of getting shot. Just grab a plane, fly up, and retake that mountain. That is, unless the plane has a mind of its own. First of all, I want to give credit to my man Crossfire for using the OG Black Knight skin. But secondly, that's just a brutal way to go out. Everything seems fine and dandy as he sees no one's about. Just to turn into his own plane and get taken out by the Red Baron himself. The timing of it all is what makes some of these clips truly some of the unluckiest moments. Can we get an oof? Ladies and gentlemen, can we get an oof? Number 9. So this is actually one old annoyance that I remember well. On the west side of the map, you have Stunt Mountain. And if you're a newer player, then just to let you know, they added all these ramps to the mountain when shopping carts were introduced. The carts are gone now, but the ramps remain. The problem was, though, that all of these shopping cart spawns were all balanced on top of this narrow mountain. Any nudge could accidentally send a cart flying down the mountain. But as you can see in this clip, it doesn't matter how careful you were at avoiding them. One of those trees he knocked down was blocking a cart. He needed mats, broke the tree, and the shopping cart started its snail-like pace until eventually falling off the edge and riding straight into the same person almost a minute later, sending them flying to their death. He had over 50 seconds to be in any other place once the shopping cart started moving. The odds of it all lining up like that amazes me every time. But now we are moving on to number 8. One of the things that I love about Fortnite is its unique items that they bring to a firefight. Shockwaves, boogie bombs, clingers that everyone can appreciate a good face stick for. This variety that constantly rotates in and out of the game is what makes for those stupendously brilliant plays. But they all have such different mechanics that they can be difficult to master, especially if everyone you're fighting is using similar items and you create these hybrid moments when multiple collide. You got Crusty Camel here pinned down by a duo on either side and with not many opportunities left. He goes for that impulse play just to get tagged by a boogie bomb at the same time in an entire clip's worth of unfortunate events. After being left defenseless as he's floating around through the air in a boogie, he gets tagged heavy with a hunting rifle and left to fall just half a block too much, which gives him just enough fall damage to finish Crusty Camel off. There's not really much you can do but empathize with the poor man's situation. Number 7. Speaking of empathy, I think this is definitely one clip on our list that most of us will be able to relate to on multiple different levels. Going into those fights knowing that any lucky bloom shot could end your game and send you back to the lobby in an instant. It's why the shotguns are adored so much in those close range fights, because you know where all the bloom's going from the start, as it's a simple pellet pattern spread. Shotgun fights can go either way in the blink of an eye.
We lost that round, but it's not over yet. You get ready for the next one.
You can already imagine that one punch that Scragix probably put through his desk. Not only did the enemy take him out with one clean headshot when he was at max 200 health and shield, but he also left the enemy with 1 HP. It doesn't get any more clutch than that for the enemy or any unluckier for Scragix. 104 damage and then 95, that's just devastating. And I'm sure we've all had our own 1 HP clutches, so let me know some of yours for us to have a read in the the comments. But here we are at number 6, rifts. I don't think there's anyone that doesn't enjoy getting their own little rift to go. In a moment's notice, you can be safe from anything bad that was coming your way, unless you're one of the many try-hard pros that laser you out of the sky as though their brain has built-in aimbot. Then you're screwed. However, we also had the pre-spawned rifts many seasons ago that you can find throughout the map, like all risky mechanics, for example, sending you to the top of the map. There's plenty of clips showcasing how this can easily go wrong. But for Danny, in this clip, it's just one bad situation after the next. After all, going through the rift as a team, it looks as though Danny accidentally managed to spawn just above a teammate, which stopped her gliding. As Danny falls, they're probably thinking to themselves, well, this is unfortunate, but at least they can revive me at the bottom. Yeah! And that's when Danny once again lands on another teammate, which outright knocks them for the fall damage. Just to fall enough distance to do another 100 fall damage and send them back to the lobby. And I can tell you, there weren't any reboot fans back there. Sorry, Jim, you're out. Number 5. The editing skills that pro-level players can have in this game for someone who's been around since day one are actually nuts. Watching the World Cup tournaments are honestly mesmerizing, the plays that they're able to pull off when you see those pros move and edit through entire fortresses in one smooth action while fighting 47 enemies in the final circles. However, for some of us, pulling off edits may take a little longer, and those milliseconds can make the biggest of differences. When Rook shows up to this random enemy just chilling at the bottom of this tower, window ready for those sneaky shots at any passerbys, Rook knows exactly what to do. One grenade launcher shot inside just as the enemy attempts to edit the window closed, but it's all too late. He's now trapped in there with no option but to accept his fate. It's those milliseconds, they make all the difference. And number 4. I don't know about you, but I feel there's a love-hate relationship with nearly every vehicle in the game. It can be all fun and games at first, something we all enjoy to create new plays with and abuse to its potential. Sometimes, though, things don't go as intended. A lot of times a vehicle can be too overpowered in some aspect, or more frequently, just got some ridiculous and game-breaking glitches that can seem never-ending. Take the Driftboard, for example. It's something any trick shotter would love. The ability to fly through the skies constantly with next to no worries about taking falling damage, right? This is just a brilliant example. Dylan's using those geysers to get some good height on his jumps, so even if the Driftboard did get shot out, he'd be fine. But there's not anything he can do to stop this from happening. Hell, he didn't even see it coming. Just straight through the ground and into the death barrier abyss below the map. You gotta be a bit annoyed at least a little when things like this happen, and it's often all the vehicles at some point or another that can do this. Number 3, here we are. So having normal guns and then some unique items wasn't good enough for Fortnite. Oh no. They thought it would be a smart idea to combine them. Thus, we have the Flintnock Pistol, or at least that's how I like to think it was invented anyway. Either way, I'm a massive fan of this little weapon, and will always try to keep one on me. The ability to prevent yourself from falling and its high damaging headshots makes it incredibly useful. You just have to be extra careful when using it to actually shoot people, even inside the buildings. You know those most satisfying compilations videos? I feel like that clip would fit right in. The way Jess just shoots themselves through that window so smoothly by accident. Looking up on his way down, realizing just how unlucky that angle and shot was. He got the kill as well, which is the best part. At least Jess took the enemy down with them. It's one of those scenarios where you just sit back for a moment astonished at what happened. And you kind of can't be mad, and you're probably laughing how unfortunate you were. Number 2, unlucky for the other dude. What you'll probably notice for a lot of these clips is what's unlucky for one player can often be lucky for the other. Although, like you saw with the last clip, it was just unlucky for both of them. I've seen many clips of pro players using 200 IQ plays and laser accuracy, but every now and then, it's the unlucky mistakes that can make for an accidental win. I think this clip has the most amount of casual luck I've seen in a while. Flying Fool is strolling along the edges of Dusty in the final circles and goes for a preemptive strike on one of the few buildings left for people to hide in. Little did he know that his bad first shot would be a homing missile. Ricocheting at a perfect angle that I very much doubt Flying Fool intended, that explosive lands right at the feet of a lone enemy hiding in a bush. There was no knowledge of what was going on in this play. He just goes on with a random Kobe and comes out with a slam dunk. I'm assuming they were safe in the bush. You may be able to outsmart the enemy, but you couldn't outsmart the Fortnite strings of destiny, my friend. Number 1, hope. It's something that can keep us going till the very end, even if we think there's no chance of survival. I can't count the amount of times I've watched people die in the storm and they're still crawling towards the circle that's on the other side of the map as if they're somehow still going to make it. I cry. But even if it is pointless in some scenarios, there can often be that light at the end of the tunnel, or in this case, the light at the edge of the storm. J33 is that last of his team alive and so close to safety, but he is low on health, running as quickly as he can with the straightest line to the storm. There doesn't appear to be any enemies, so it looks like it's all good. Just the final stretch. He's made it. Oh, yeah, not really much you can do there. Even if J33 had looked up and noticed the trap, it would have been difficult to break or edit a build in time and still survive with that low of health. It's just one of those few unlucky moments that you simply can't do anything about. If you guys enjoyed this video, you might enjoy our other video where we show you guys the top 10 ultimate troll moments. Click the annotation on screen right now to go check out that video.